cool. So, DNA.
Sup, Dells?
What up? How you doing?
Fresh teens, right? What's wrong with Dells?
No, nothing is wrong. So, tell us about yourself. What do you do? I know you as DNA. Some people are more familiar by the name Kululego, the director. So, tell us about DNA. Like, what do you do?
Well, what do I do? That's a very broad question, but my name is Ngululeko Labambo, also known as DNA. Close friends or film friends call me Don. If you're in the DJ scene, they know me as the Armsdale. The DNA comes from the hip hop
Break
scene.
Dancing,
Yeah. So basically, I've done numerous things in my life, but my main primary focus is directing and filmmaking. I graduated at City Varsity as a cinematographer editor.
Okay.
I just recently started dabbling in the directing zone, which I think is coming up. Directed first project was Love Hate with Pretty Ugly.
Okay.
I actually
So you did that?
Yeah.
I actually thought somebody else did that video.
Love Hate.
Yeah.
That's like my pride. That's
You know what's funny? I recorded that song.
You recorded that?
Yeah.
Man, it's a small. Well, it's not small. All the dope cats are all together.
How was that? Because I actually thought somebody else did that video.
Really? Yeah, man, that was my first project, and it was a small budget. It was a 10 grand budget. We shot it in one room. It was my first. I'm actually glad. Pretty Ugly was actually the first artist to actually trust me into actually shooting a music video for him. So, big ups to him. And it was successful. And after that, we did. Excuse me. After that, we did Swag Demonstration, and Swag Demonstration was also a commercial success.
Yeah.
And then only recently, we shot Cocaine Ghost. Which I think a lot of people liked.
Yeah, and that was actually your last project.
Yes,
Yeah.
and this is actually
Before this one, that is.
With Frank Casino, this is my first project shooting with a different artist. So
Is it?
Yeah.
So it's also big. It's also another huge step.
I choose the artists I work with very carefully.
Yes, from what I've seen, people won't be disappointed. So I'm just gonna make a bit of a comparison. Since you said you've only worked with just these two artists, how was it like? Especially because
and when I mean that, sorry to elaborate, when I say I only work with Casino and Pretty, it doesn't mean I've never shot music videos for other people, but these are the projects that I particularly directed.
The beast and chuck the deuce. My niggas got some trees, man, I swear it's in their roots. Sipping old whiskey, getting wasted in our youth. Lying to ourselves, that's the truth. My city.
Okay, so I just wanted to make a bit of a comparison between your last project that you did with Pretty Ugly and this one. Like, what do you think is the main difference between the two, projects, especially the artists, like from your point of view? Because I see Pretty Ugly's music and his style, and I also see Frank Casino's music and his style. They're not particularly the same type of music, so from a visual perspective, I imagine it's also gonna come out different.
I think what's best to know is like when you approach projects with different artists, they're different artists,
Yes,
and essentially you need to treat them differently. A lot of production companies try have a template with artists and do the same thing. So like what I like to particularly do is like get to know the artist, hang around with them, and actually immerse myself in the environment so I can get a very distinctive, accurate description or understanding of what the artist is all about. And then we go, you first start with the music, obviously, and with the music they make different types of music because they're different types of people, so how I should actually differentiate them, I mean, with Cocaine Ghost, it was a very, very cinematic, well thought out shoot, because the song essentially had a cinematic sense, and it sounded like a soundtrack. If you ask Ugly what he was actually attempting to do, he'll tell you that he wanted to do a soundtrack. So I felt like we needed to treat it in a very cinematic sense. And I don't know if you know, like, Pretty Ugly is very particular about how his imagery is being projected. It's always been like one of his niches, you know. And we really wanted to keep it clean, keep it symmetric, keep it very elegant, you know. And I think we achieved that. But now when you look,
video, I saw it. It was pretty dope. I liked it.
you digs it.
Yeah, I think it was fresh.
Thanks.
Quality as well. It was pretty.
Yeah, man, we never compromise on quality. But when you look at like Casino's, if you listen to his music, it's very rugged, it's very street, it's very raw, you know. And we really wanted to approach the project in a very I can't really generalize his music like that because he makes music.
Yeah, I was about to say because I've heard his music, you know.
But I mean, in terms of like I said, I like to immerse myself within them, and it was just like it's instincts on like chilling with the guys and understanding what his movement is all about and his culture, you know. And then I really try to adapt all that stuff within the music video.
So you basically live his life before you actually shoot. So you spend time around the artist. You know, you sort of do stuff with the artist to understand how are they living.
Yes.
Before you can actually. So that's actually smart. That's actually a smart way of doing things.
Man, I personally feel like there's a lot of misinterpretation with artists, you know. You find that they did a dope track, right? Got a good production company, but there was no connection or synergy in terms of who the artist really is. And like I said earlier, they all have a template on how to approach these kind of projects. So for me, most of the time, I really wanted to get like exactly the true sense of Frank Casino and Dapper Ganger and what the click is all about.
You know, that's what's up. So the concept behind his video, just give us a little bit on that. Like, I know you're explaining the artist now. You know the sense that you got from spending time with him and what you try to project. But when you were actually doing the video, what was the actual, you know, concept? And do you think you hit the nail on it as well? Because you were being very, you know, descriptive with Cocaine Ghost. You know, you had a specific
mood and tone that we wanted to go.
So with Just Before the Riches, was it a similar thing? Obviously, as any creative person, you need to obviously, when you focus on a project, you need to have a vision for it before you actually start working on it. So with his project specifically, Just Before the Riches, what was the concept and how do you think you pulled it off?
Well, you see, the thing is, how we approached this project was very, I can say, documentarian kind of style, because I knew that, because I had immersed myself with them and I had an understanding of what the team and the clip was all about, you know. So I really wanted to capture it very naturally. So like with Cocaine Ghost, we did a lot of elegant cinematic shots that we had to do like numerous of times so we can get it. But my approach with Just Before the Riches, it was very organic, you know. I didn't necessarily tell like the cast or Casino to do particular things, but I put them in particular situations and let them live that.
So you wanted the real, you know, organic feel of the realness.
I mean, essentially his music is very real and it speaks truth, and that's what we wanted to project through the visuals.
Yeah. Okay, now I hear you. Okay, so what was the overall experience like? You know, how do you know Frank?
How do I know Frank?
Yeah, like where did you guys meet? You know, I know it's a small world, but you know, you meet people. Sometimes you don't really want to work with them. It's like, yeah, I know he's cool, whatever. we'll talk. But then, how did it come together, like between you and Frank? The relationship, how is it like?
Well, you know, I've always known Frank, you know, and it's more of like growing up with cats, you know. Us Eastern cats, like, we've always been very rich with culture, you know, like through whatever mediums, because everything is just platforms. Whether it was dance, whether it was music, whether it was something else, sports, whatever. But we are from basically the same area code, if you could call it, you know. And I knew Frank via mainly because of, I think it started in the dancing scenes. Because he had his own dance crew and I was part of Freeze Frame at the time. And I think competing at like events and competitions. That's where we kind of linked up. And I was actually scheduled to do one of his first music videos, which was called Blunts, right?
Yeah.
Which we can't say it never came out.
Yeah.
It's still coming. And we shot that, and I was still very young at the time, you know. I was also very
So it's sort of like a
finding my
continuation.
footing, yeah.
So you guys never left it.
We
It's
never
more like,
left
you know,
it, man.
Just gonna.
We just all went
Yeah.
back into the drawing board to
Yeah.
find ourselves exactly, to figure out exactly how do we do this music thing, how do we do this filmmaking thing.
Exactly.
And I think it's 2015 now, and it's all come
time.
together, dude.
It's time, so people are gonna know now.
I think all the other new rappers, all the other production companies.
Now they're gonna know what's up. No, I faith
I
in
didn't
you
say
guys.
anything.
No, but I faith in you guys. You know, I've always been a strong supporter of the movement.
Thanks, dude.
You know, Side Effects Films. You know, Frank Casino, Dapper Gang. You know, I've always been somewhere at the back. You know, but like cheering you guys on. So I'm actually kind of happy you guys are doing this. But I just mentioning Side Effects. You know, something comes to mind. Like, when did that start? Because I know, yes, you came back, went to the drawing board, but when did you decide that you want your own production company? You want to focus on doing film, you know, how you want to do it. Because a lot of people finish school, you just said you went to, what is it, City Varsity?
Yeah.
You did film. Some people finish school, the first thing they want to do is, yo, man, I gotta find, you know, place to work for. But you decided to take your own route. You know, how is that experience? And
You know, I'll be very honest with you. I'm very young at heart, but I feel like I've dabbled in everything. You know, I mean, I graduated and I went into television, did a couple of television shows, and that was a horrible experience. And then I went into the advertising game. That was, I think, last year I was in the television game. No, last year. And then this year, last year, I then went into the advertising game and learned how to actually be on commercial sets and getting it right. You know, it's only until this year I felt like I had enough. You know, and I don't know, maybe I'm just one of those pedantic kind of guys who wants things done their way.
Yeah.
But like the production company has been
I think that's a
existent.
director's curse.
Yeah. So like I really decided this year was the year for it, because Side Effects Films is not just a production company. We just branched out. We're also a digital marketing company as well. So the two kind of work in hand, because production company can provide content for the digital marketing company. You know?
Okay, so it's sort of they complement each other.
Yes. Because what's the point of shooting dope music videos if people don't get to see them?
True, correct.
You know? And plus we got PXY, who's also helping us put that stuff up in there. You know?
Yeah, everybody has to do what they need to do, man.
Yeah.
But on that note, man, thanks for pulling through. It was nice having you.
Thank you.
And before we actually cut the whole scene, where can people find your stuff? You know, Side Effects. Where can they get info about the company? If perhaps they need to get in contact with you, or is that stuff still in process? You know what? Where you sit?
Okay, cool. We everything like I said, we still I won't say we come up, we ready. We're just sorting out all the admin stuff. We do have a website coming up. It's gonna be sideeffectsfilms.coza. Alright. We've got our Instagram page, which is what we're setting up currently. In the next 2 weeks, I don't know how long the video is gonna be going up, but we should have our whole portfolio of all of the music videos we've worked on Instagram as a medium. You know, it's a new take, but it's gonna be on there.
So you mentioned a YouTube page. Is that
YouTube page. We've got a YouTube page, but mainly that's gonna be our BTS stuff. And then Vimeo is where you can find most of our work. So it's Side Effects Films on Vimeo. But like I said, the site will be the main hub of everything once it's up.
Okay. All right, fresh man.
Thanks.
It was good having you once again.
Nice
and
talking
good
to you
luck,
guys.
man.
Yeah.
All the best.
Thanks.